What's up, everybody?
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Today
is Friday.
Happy Friday. I
Friday.
kind of cut you off. Oh, everyone's used to that already. But today's a little bit extra special because we have merchandise to be announced. This was a little exclusive one, so don't look too much about this one. But this one is one that we're dropping very, very soon. If by this time, maybe it'll be out.
Yeah.
Who the fuck knows? But this will be the first shirt for you guys to go out, support, and shop for us. Just know, we don't make any fucking money right now. Hopefully one day we do, but this is just to help us continue financing for us to put out more content. We want to create this mission to help out as many people as possible, and it costs money out of our pockets to do so. But you guys supporting us, it'll allow us to continue putting out the content, helping out more people, and
yeah, and it's also to build a brand. Obviously the Coffee Breakup, we've been doing it for 7 months now, 8 months, and your support has been tremendous. And we kind of wanted to branch out and said, you know what, let's bring out some merchandise.
And this is honestly the that's not even the main focus behind it. It's more, this costs money, so it helps us be able to come back here and continue putting out good content and again helping out more people. Studio time costs money. This shirt will help us pretty much do another episode for you guys. So just keep that in mind next time you shop. If you do shop, we hopefully you do and support us and. Well, and we'll take suggestions. If you like the shirts, we can always switch it up and make something else.
Give us
do
feedback.
Another design and stuff like that. Shirts are super soft the first time I'm wearing it. I want to go to sleep in one.
It's super comfortable.
Alrighty, guys. So, with that being said, like always, subscribe, follow. We're on social media. Click the link in bio. You can watch us on YouTube, listen to us on Spotify, iTunes, also on Amazon.
Amazon now, yeah.
Yay!
So they've posted. Now they're having a podcast as well. So there's a link on the link tree. You'll see it. If you guys want to check that out, feel free to do so.
All right, enough of that boring shit. So we're going to dive right into the episode. So today, one that a lot of people have mentioned, and I think it resonates with a lot of people. I have it over here on my computer. Yeah. Marvin, would you like to announce?
Yes,
Big
absolutely.
Bold.
Why dating as a millennial is so screwed up.
So I think we can argue, and a lot of people will counter argue that dating in this millennial era that we're in, it's not the easiest.
No.
Some people complain. There's a lot of things going on. So we found this article online. It was referred to me by someone, by Andrea. I can't even see her name from here. Andrea Wesley, I believe. And so we want to break it down and go over it and just pretty much give our take based off of what it says and hopefully just refer that information. So see if it resonates with everybody else.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that once you hear some of these items on the list, you're going to be like, oh, this is pretty accurate. This has happened to me or this happened to one of my friends. And so I think the people will be able to resonate. I sure can. So
number one.
We ghost
just
as
read
a
what
way
you got
to end things. Ghosting.
We ghost as a way to end things. Yeah. So what does it say? If we're no longer interested in someone, we don't need to tell them. We simply stop responding. If someone did this to us in real life, it will be completely psychotic. But because it's over text or an instant message, we've somehow resigned ourselves to think it's okay. Newsflash, it's totally not. Even in the golden ages, the Dear John letter was left on the table in the foyer. But now we're lucky if you even get a typed string of characters saying, I'm sorry, it's not working
out. I'm guilty of that. I've ghosted people. I don't know if you have. Not proud of it. It's been a while since I've done it, but there were times where I've done it.
Yeah, I don't know. I've been so outside of the dating scene that I don't even remember the last time that.
But you've done it, right?
I'm sure I have back in the day. I mean, as a millennial, it's on the list, so I'm sure we can resonate. But no, yeah, if they ghost you, just they're no longer interested. I mean, for you, it's just I think don't even sweat that shit anymore. It's like
disregard it.
Yeah. So what do I have here? I'm like, look, in person that's weird, but over text, we justify chemistry is important, and it may not be there for both of you, and that's fine. Something as simple as it was great to have met you, but I don't feel the spark big enough in order to push forward this. Take care. So a lot of people, they think, oh, if I just ghost, it'll just kind of take off. In fact, I had someone write to me like, she goes, listen, don't take this the wrong way, but if I'm not interested in you, I don't feel the need. I'm not obligated to respond to you. Really? And then I'm like, bitch, put yourself in the other person's shoes. It's not the most comforting thing for you to say, to just leave them hanging. Because imagine if that was you on the other end, you're going to be like, yo, now I wonder what happened. I thought it went great. Is something now wrong with me? All the string of traumas that can come out. and low self-esteem and all this other bullshit, like just because you didn't respond. It all comes down with maturity and having that communication of being like, listen, you know what?
It's not working out.
I wasn't feeling it,
Yeah.
you know? No disrespect to you. You're a cool guy.
Right.
But I just don't feel a spark. I don't feel chemistry.
Absolutely.
And that's it. Like, I'm not hurting your feelings. What is the guy going to say? Oh, but I thought we had a great time. You know,
Maybe we did. And we did.
But beyond here, I don't see anything else. But you're super cool, but I don't see that.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, I've had girls tell me like, hey, listen, I've had a great time, but, you know, I just want to stay friends. I just have this like a platonic relationship, and we can be friends and we can be cool, but I don't see it going anywhere. And that's cool, man. You know, like, I rather appreciate that than never hearing from you again.
But have you ever gotten like salty and been like, oh, well, you ain't shit anyways? Have you?
No, I mean, maybe when I was younger, but I'm not really a bitter person. I mean, I'll feel some type of way. My ego has been, you know, hurt a little bit.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna be like, oh, you know, fuck this bitch. Like that's not me.
There was a post that I saw the other day that it was I don't know if you saw it was on a bunch of meme pages, but it was a screenshot, and the girl goes, hey, I just want to let you know that, you know, I wasn't feeling it. You know, I had a good time, but I don't see us going anywhere. The guy replies, I agree. And the girl's like, yo, you're not supposed to say that.
Yes, I saw
and he
that,
goes, well, I don't chase girls. I chase the money.
Like,
or some shit like that.
Yeah, I saw that.
So it's like, you know what, for that stupid shit, you know, at least, you know, they were straight up, but just got to be mature about it.
You got to be mature, yeah.
Number 2, we're hyper focused on sex.
Yeah, I think this is a big one, especially in this dating age. And everybody has, you know, people have Tinder and Bubble, whatever the fuck that shit is called. Bumble.
You can tell he's not on it.
I'm not. No.
He has much success outside of it.
Oh, my boy. Okay. I do.
No, but okay. So what does it say here? We've talked about it before that, you know, now a lot of it is really physical more than anything else.
Absolutely.
You know, it's less about emotional, spiritual connections. Everything's very fast paced. In fact, when we had the episode with the two girls, Jessica and Kat, we're like, you know, everything's fast paced. You know, I just edited the video. That's why I have it clear in my head. But it's like, oh, you know, everything's fast paced. It's physical. Like we swipe right. I can be talking to you.
Multiple
so everything's just like, go after it. So what does it say here? Sex is scarcely available. We can have it simply with the swipe of a finger. There's zero effort made into getting to know someone for who they truly are unless we're willing to undress and show the most sacred parts of ourselves first. And most of the time, sex doesn't lead to a relationship. It leads to heartache, confusion, and another one-night stand with the next person.
Yeah, interesting, because yesterday I was at work yesterday, and one of my coworkers was like, bro, I just want to meet a girl who's down to have sex, and I'll never speak to her again. I'm like, dude, what the fuck? Like,
really?
It kind of amplifies that point where it's like,
people. But why did you like ask like, hey, what's the deal?
He's also
the deal though.
He's younger.
How old is he?
21.
Yeah, he's a kid.
Yeah, he's a kid. Yeah. Technically, he's not even a millennial, because millennials is 23.
Yeah, he was born in 99.
Yeah, so
or some shit like that.
Yeah,
scary.
Yeah, I know, wild. But if that's, you know, just to go back on that, it's because like a lot of people just want to hook up, that hookup culture, right? And now you got these apps, and everybody's so easily accessible. And I think people are kind of desensitized by, if you go on social media, bro, everything is visible out there. You could see girls and guys like virtually naked at this point. Back in the days, it wasn't as easily available, in my opinion.
I see that. You know, there's a lot of other things where it could be like, oh, I can't even open up because I'm still traumatized. I don't want to really date somebody.
So you just that hook.
I can see that. Yeah, I can see that. But then at the same time, if you just continue that, like, what meaning does, you know, like, what's your ultimate goal? I mean, I get it. You know, pussy's pussy sometimes, and like, what? It's true. You know, and people will argue that, but ultimately, like, what is it that you're looking for? Do you just want pussy? Because then at the end of the day, you're just going to be a lonely guy that has no guaranteed pussy, you know? You're just going to be chasing it.
So, yeah, what's the end game, right? You know, but, you know, some people that's what they want, but I feel like something's missing. Something's lacking in there, you know? When that's all you're going for, are you really satisfied, you know? If you're just chasing that, you know, if you're going after that, I don't know. I just feel like there's something missing. There's something wrong there. But at the same time, also, I feel like the fact why it's so predominant in our age group or as a millennial is because with everything we see online and the media and movies and stuff like that, back then it wasn't as available.
Yeah.
You have these the Kardashians and, you know, these reality TV stars and everything you see online. Everything is sexualized. If you watch commercials, you go in ads, everything is really centered around sex. I think that also kind of plays into shape us as a society, you know, like we're kind of a byproduct of that, what's happening as well.
Yeah, so it's like you said, yeah, sex is everywhere, and if you're single, you know, you're gonna be getting sexual cravings, and unless you have a partner, you can't really like stay and be like, hey babe, like let's have sex. You have to go and chase it. You hunt, and all you're doing is just avoiding the fact that, of getting into any sort of relationship, because you just want to get that nut out and just like get. I don't know why you're laughing like it's awkward, bro. You're like, say the truth.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
All right, making me feel like I'm
with you.
All right, good.
Carry on.
Number 3, or I had to change this over here.
Yeah, I know. I changed it.
We're in competition of who can care the least.
Oh,
I love this one. I hate it,
but yes, it's very, very, very.
I love this one.
Accurate. And I feel like people are like so scared to show emotions, and it's like, oh, I can't. I like this person, but I can't show that I like this person. I can't text back right away. I have to play these mind games and these tricks. And if I care more, then I'm vulnerable. If I'm vulnerable, I'm losing. I hate it. I hate that.
Yeah, I had one of my boys. He goes, and I think it ties in with the other one, but I'll say it anyways.
Okay.
He wrote to me. He goes, how long should I take before I reply to a message? I'm like, what? When do you want to reply? I mean, yeah, but I don't want, like, bro, just fucking reply. Yeah. Like, if you're gonna be playing this game, they're just gonna want to play it back with you. Or like, do you want to be that person to play games? Because then, like, what are you trying to resolve here?
Yeah.
So I mean, it's comfortable when it's casual. I mean, here it says, showing actual emotions is heavily frowned upon. If we show our cards and act like we're interested, it leaves the person we're affectionate about turned off and running in the opposite direction, instead of being flattered that we actually gave a crap about them. There's little gratitude for honest and happy emotions. And there's also this other meme that people talk about, that it's like, you don't have any bitches, or you're not talking to any other hoes? And the guy's like, no, I don't have any. He goes,
like,
why?
Yeah.
Why would I compete with you? Like, there's no competition.
Yeah.
Like, this isn't fun. Shit like that.
Or it's like girls like, all these memes where it's like, the guy's not interested in them. They want the guy, but as soon as the guy even shows off an interest, that's like, oh no, I'm not interested anymore.
It's almost a chase. A lot of people, they go after,
what you can't have.
It's comfortable when it's casual. A lot of people, they're just chilling for how things are, and when you kind of overstep that boundary when they're not ready for it, it's just kind of like, okay, this isn't what I want. Like, I never wanted this. Or it's like, there's other things that they're like, oh, when you flirt and they start catching feelings, and then it's like the person that's like cringing and shit. It's like, bitch, like you asked for this shit. Exactly.
Oh man, it drives me nuts.
Whatever. It's part of the game, I guess. All right, what do we got next? We're too strategic about our responses. Responding right away comes across as desperate and too available. It's amazing how millennials view the luxury of having instant access to communication as something we need to treat as if we're still using carrier pigeons.
Right.
Instant messaging is just that. It's instant, but we still withhold our response times to try and show just how busy, important, unattached we are. What backwards and BS logic.
Yeah, I had a friend recently. He just entered, dating again after, being off the market for a long time. And he's like, oh, I like this girl, but I don't know what to say to this. Should I respond right away? He's like, oh, I hate these games. And I'm like, dude, you're playing them right now. You're debating, should I respond?
You're literally, yeah.
You saying you don't want to play the game, but you're partaking in it. Respond. You're a grown ass man. Like, say what you want and get it off your chest, and don't dance around the bush.
It is frustrating, because then how would you how would you tell that person that even though your intentions are being pure and you're being direct, that they still might play games? Like, how do you then go around that?
I guess that's part of the gamble that you take when you open up to somebody, right? Like, you're saying, hey, I'm going to take a chance on this person. But instead of holding back with the fear that they're holding back as well, I'm just going to put it all out there.
You think like if you show you're vulnerable, then they'll follow suit?
Yeah, they follow suit, because imagine you think like that. Imagine if they think like that too. I want to be open, but I am scared. What if they're holding back?
It's almost like
what do we?
They're both playing games. Yes. Let me follow you,
exactly,
and play games also, instead of just being like, you know what? I'm gonna step up. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna say what I want. And if they agree and it reciprocates, great. If it doesn't, then this isn't really what I'm going after. However, it also ties into if some guy's just trying to go after you, or a girl's just trying to get something out of it and doesn't really care for anything long term. It's kind of, it ultimately comes down to what I've said before, just being sure of who you are and knowing that that's also the possibility.
Absolutely.
So yeah, open up, but just know that if you do agree to open up, be comfortable enough to understand that their intentions might not be as pure. Doesn't mean play games, but just be prepared, because if that's the intention that you see it going towards, if you don't want that energy, you don't want that type of chemistry, you don't want that relationship, then you cut that before it just turns into something physical because you were misled.
Yeah, I love that you're saying that, and you're 100% right. And it's also the fact that people are like, oh, what if if they're gonna hurt me, or what if they're gonna do me wrong? And it's like, if they do, it's not a reflection on you. You did everything you could. You put everything out there, and it's a possibility, right? But you're holding back with the fear that they're gonna screw you over without even ever giving you an intention or indicator that they're going to, is also not right. Then you're not ready to date.
Yeah.
Easier said than done. A lot of times, I think we've all been in that position. I've been in that position where it's like, I'm gonna hold back, or they're probably playing games, so I'm gonna play games. There was no indication that this person was doing me wrong, but at the same time, that fear that they were, based on past experiences, that kind of hindered me. And you have to learn. You're like, hey, I still have to heal from certain things, and have to really, really be mindful of who I am, which is what you were saying. And also, if something happens on their end, I did everything I could. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I really like your point of view as well.
I do like the fact that you could take some time when it comes to texting, but more so to build, because maybe you're like maybe I shouldn't have said this, or maybe I can have a better response.
Were you thinking like you giving it time to think?
Because some people because some people will try to overwater a plant, and in this case, like let's say the conversation is going well, but you want to respond quicker to try to keep the conversation alive. Sometimes in texting, the beauty behind it is you can take a minute and be like, wait, should I have said this? Right. Maybe I can come up with something more clever. You're not in person. You're not in person. Yeah, you don't have that. This is more like, you have the access to easily communicate, but you want to be like, oh no, you know what? Let me just wait 3 hours, or I'll text them tonight after I shower. I don't want them to seem like I'm too pushy. I'm not agreeing with that. Like, fuck off.
Yes.
But the people who are like, oh, with text, you can be like, oh, like they just sent me something. It could be like, yo, Luch, what do you think I should respond to this? Like you can kind of build a better, like that's the cool thing about it.
True.
But, you just don't mistake in that for, let me take forever.
Abuse that. Right. This person took an hour, so I'm going to take 2.
Like, I fucking hate that.
Dude. Like, come on, how old are we?
Huh? Yeah, especially now. Like, I get busy at work, like where I cannot access my phone, but.
Yeah, you text this guy, he doesn't respond 6 hours later.
Bro, it's time that I get busy as fuck, or I got in trouble, so I can't have my phone. I'm like,
oh shit.
Right, okay, what's next? All right, so we have all right. We expect a perfection that doesn't exist. Right. Social media and thousands of dating profiles shoved in our faces leads us to believe we're entitled a fairy tale life that doesn't truly exist. We write people off for a minor detail and quickly look for the next best thing, and will somehow also find flaws in. Nothing is ever good enough for millennials. We fail to realize that relationships are a balanced bond, and that with the amazing things come imperfections as well.
Yeah, I think a big part of that is what we see on social media. Celebrities, we see their lifestyle, we see their life they live, and we think it's all sun and shiny and perfect, when in reality it isn't. All we see is what they want us to see. And I think a big part was when I remember Will Smith and his wife Jaden Smith, for such a long time they were like goals, they're perfect, Turns out their marriage wasn't all that perfect. Now with everything that's going on in entanglements and stuff like that, you're like, oh shit, like they used to be goals, quote unquote. The whole notion is idiotic as well.
Oh yeah, because I remember the pictures of like him showing her off at like one of the red carpet events and stuff, and it's like, oh, I wish I had that.
Exactly, you wish you had that, and you try to go, and then if it doesn't happen in real life, you're like, oh, they're not worthy of my time because Will Smith is like this, or this person's like that on social media. But what you once said is like, on social media, Instagram or whatever, it's just a highlight of your life. Exactly. It's just a facade. Yeah,
you show what people like. No one's gonna be like, oh, I cried today, or oh, today I got a flat, unless it's something stupid. Yeah. I want to flex on the boat. I want to flex at the club. I want to flex my watch. I want to flex my car. I want to do this. Like, look at my life. Oh, I'm traveling. No offense. Right. You haven't posted in a while, so.
But it's good. Like I post something when I'm traveling and I'm happy and everything's great. But I don't post stuff when I'm like stuck at the airport for 6 hours.
So you're kind of victim to it as well then.
Yes. Yeah.
Like because you post when you travel, and I bet everyone's on his thing like, oh, I wish I had his life. Home, and then you're struggling, bro. Then, you work, you have 2 jobs,
exactly. So and this is just me on a small spectrum, but imagine other people.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think we can become victim of that sometimes. We see something, social media go.
There was a GoFundMe page that I saw once, that there was these 2 influencers that they started. It was a guy and a girl, and they're like, please help donate to us so we can continue providing content out to you guys. Literally just a GoFundMe so people can pay so they can continue traveling and posting more content.
That's crazy.
Come on. Like that's extreme. But regardless, we're getting a little sidetracked. When it comes to actually dating, relationships have imperfections. And I believe those flaws is what you together as a partner build together. You forgive, Luch, you can attest, not every relationship is perfect, but you fight together to make it strong. You're pretty much the one that's committed in one compared to us.
Right.
So you understand the ups and downs that it requires to build a strong relationship. And a lot of people, they think, oh, if this isn't working, I could just go on social media
and find
I'll catch somebody else like this, and it's not that easy. You have to. And also when you find that partnership and you find someone that you want to spend that time with, you don't want to just be like, man, I got into a fight. Let me start scrolling. Let me find someone, or maybe let me get this bitch. Right. There's also this other thing that, what is it? That girls, it's like, that's not your girl. It's just your turn. Yeah. Type shit. Because they have a laundry list, which I think is true. Not the laundry list, but I think they have a lineup that's just waiting. Like, all right, the next number, number 89. Yeah. Oh, the next guy shows up. But it's you have to continue to fight to prevent to not allow that to just come into your life like that.
And I think it goes vice versa. Like at the same time on the other spectrum, it's like, okay, like you're a good, attractive woman, and there's a lot of guys in your DMs and stuff like that. But if you have a good guy, and just because they messed up, whatever, depending on what it is, but like you think like, oh, I have all these options in my DM, but they just don't compare. Not all that's gold shines. You see all that online and you think it's all great, and they message you and they give you all that attention, bro. It's not all.
That's what they say. Like we look for the next best thing just to find out that, oh, I thought it was better, but it has the same flaws or not even more,
or more flaws or whatever.
Or more flaws. Yeah,
exactly. So,
well, speaking of options, the next one is we're overloaded with options. We don't believe we need.
That's a big one.
We don't believe we need to settle on anything because there's always someone better looking with a better family life, better hobbies, or someone with a better bank account. We move from person to person, and even if we land on someone that makes us feel great and we could totally devote ourselves to in a relationship, we're never quite willing to give up the search. The never-ending journey becomes more exhilarating than the actual prize itself.
Yeah,
that's beautiful. It's okay, but speak up.
I relate that to T-Mobile. When I used to be at T-Mobile and I used to sell, the second that I gave somebody an option for a different phone, that's the second where I lost the sale.
Really?
When people have options, they get overwhelmed.
Right,
I've heard of that.
Yeah, they don't know what to do. They're like, oh shit, like, yeah.
What the fuck? They back out. So that's the problem with relationships nowadays. They have options, so they're like, it's almost the same thing. It's like you can pick this, you can pick the phone. So you think about it, and you're like,
put a fucking mic on him, bro.
Yeah,
no. Fuck that. I don't know which one's which.
I was about to put this shit up.
Damn. Yeah, but true. So, yeah.
No, I get what you're saying.
I know what you were saying.
Yeah, that's the thing. Somebody, you said it earlier. Somebody makes one small mistake. You're like, oh, well, I'm gonna talk to the other 6 people in my DMs, or I message this person. And even so, more now than ever, we're so connected. Like you can talk to people you went to high school with, exes. The people live on the other side of the country. Back then, 30 years ago, 20 years ago, that wasn't an option. You only had a certain amount of people in your, in your phone book. You call them, they don't answer, or shit out of luck.
It's like a Rolodex. Like you're looking for the fucking here's the one.
Exactly.
Looking for the business card.
Now you can hop on your phone and talk to anybody around all over the world. And so yes, I think the fact that everybody has these options, or we think we have options. And not everybody's perfect. Nobody's perfect, but at the same time, we think somebody makes one small mistake, fuck, next on.
Reminds me of what also when we had both ascendants here. Yeah, twins. Because one, I remember the girl said, Jessica said, she goes, like if I felt this way before about a guy, I don't want to settle for anything less than that. I want to find something that's either going to duplicate or make it better. And it's, you can't think like that because the problem is even in dating, and I wrote it down here, if this is great, there must be something that may top this, right? Because then you're always thinking that there's something better out there, which isn't bad. You do want to chase after something that's going to be the best. But you can't think if what I thought and what I have is my best, because this is what I did chase after, is there something that's going to surpass that? And that's where people, they start getting, they mistake. Because then if there's an issue, oh, no, forget it. There's more options. I don't need you, even if we have a problem. But you build on that to prevent that from happening. Like it doesn't always mean, like you said, the grass is green on the other side, or everything that shines, it doesn't mean it's gold. So got to take that into consideration when if you went after something and you know that that's good, you can't always think, oh, well, I'll just continue chasing and I'll go after something better, because you have to appreciate what you do have.
Absolutely. And like define best, or better. There's always going to be somebody out there who has more money, who looks better, who's more successful, but what is that? Like once you have somebody who you're happy with, and you got to cherish that person, man, because yes, there are millions of other people on this planet. But how one person makes you feel is not necessarily how another person is going to make you feel.
I think the next one resonates with us the most.
I read that and I was like, Christian.
Me. I was like,
no, both of us.
All right. We've become content with being alone while we've been navigating the journey to find love. We've consequently committed our lives to ourselves and made them into something that's happy and rewarding without someone to love, which means it's that much harder to invite a relationship into our lives. We're fine on our own, so we don't leave our comfort zones for anyone. Sometimes we even find minor and trivial reasons not to, because we're secretly happy with things just the way they are.
Yeah, that one is a good one. And no, I'm thinking it's very, very accurate in terms of my personal life, right where I am.
Personally relatable.
Yeah. I was thinking about you when I read that as well. And you've been single for a little bit now, and I know how.
Yeah, I get on Snapchat. I get my memories, and I'm like, oh shit, what happened 3 years ago? And it's like me and my ex. I'm like, bitch, I don't want to see this.
But like I think, especially we are driven. We're ambitious, and we're trying to accomplish certain things, and we're so focused on our goals that sometimes we become, or a lot of times we're so distracted, and this is what we're focused on, that we don't really find the time to open up to other people. We feel like we can't allow this to happen because we're driven and we're in this journey, right? For self-discovery, self-development, and also with the things that we want to achieve in life. And I think as a society, we're so competitive now, more so than ever. And it's like, let me be successful because this person is successful on social media.
Well, remember when we had Natalie?
Right.
That she's like, oh, my boyfriend didn't want to commit or take it to the next level because he needed to be a millionaire. He needed to feel financially successful. And she's like, well, we can do that together, But
in his eyes, it was like, no, I got to do this
I got to do it my way.
So he would have probably fallen in, well, he wasn't alone, but they were together. But yeah, so that attribute, you want to be successful, you want to be driven, you want to be a goal-getter. And sometimes, man, you get addicted to being alone. Sometimes I come home and I'm like, bro, I love being alone. I can't imagine coming home to somebody else. It's because I like my alone time, and so it could be addictive,
Yeah, well, I mean, it provides a sense of peace, and once mastered, it's a lot of people they long for a partner, but it's almost rewarding sometimes when you know that you don't need a partner to be happy.
It's a double-edged sword. Absolutely beautiful. It's like, because I love being alone. I'm happy with being alone. If I enter in a relationship with somebody, it's not because I need that person, it's because I want to. So that's a great thing. It's a beautiful thing. But at the same time, man, sometimes you have to allow yourself to open up, because if not, you're just gonna be alone.
That's the other thing, because then people would also argue, and they've told me, they're like, if you really want to be with someone, you'll make the time for them. And I'm like, okay,
fair enough.
How do you make time when it's not available? How can you make more time than possible? And they're like, well, if you really wanted to, you would. I'm like, okay. So I work, 8 hours in the day. My commute to and fro could be another hour, 2 hours. I go to the gym, that's another 3-4 hours. Apart from sleeping, where am I at right now? 8, 9, 10, 11. Sleep for another 8, 19 hours, 5 hours that I have in my day. You think I want to fucking deal with, I want that for me, my own sanity, or I want to build this, or like right now,
right.
I have we have the podcast, so we're building our own things. You have the, your other, the Mercy Layover and everything else. You're writing.
Right.
Where are you going to fit someone like, oh, okay, I have 2 hours for you, babe. So now you're telling me a relationship is only required for 2 hours? Ladies and gentlemen, quick break in between the show. We just wanted to say, first of all, thank you so much for supporting, and thank you so much for watching our episode or listening to our episodes. It means a lot to us. The views and the listens, it helps. But most importantly, we wanted to now kind of spread this movement more with people, and we decided to, either it's out now or we're working on it, but there is a website, and what you'll find on the website is not only a bunch of our shit, a lot of our backgrounds, and a lot of the episodes are already there, but you're going to notice that we do have some merch, and if it's not there already, stay tuned.
Absolutely. And your merchandise coming out, coffee mugs, coasters, and the website. You guys check it out. There's gonna be podcast episodes, information. If you guys want to submit some stuff, you have questions,
submit questions. We are expanding like crazy, but the way you can help us expand even more is, supporting us and just shopping one of our stuff. We got some good bundles for you guys. We got these mugs, super nice, super cute. We got even coasters. We got these shirts. We got this shirt to be announced, and we got a bunch of other things lined up for you guys as well. So again, thank you so much for the support.
Thank you for everything.
Check it out. Let us know what you think.
Thank you, guys.
Be back.
So I get what you're saying, that you don't want to put a limitation on a few hours for your relationship and stuff like that. But you do have, you have the weekends free where you can find time for somebody if you want it.
True, but that's almost like what I couldn't accomplish throughout the week.
You want to catch up on, I get it. You have a lot on your plate, and I'm sure other people as well. So you're like, man, I'm okay with being alone, because and also the fact we've been hurt in the past. You're like scarred. You're like, man, being alone is not too bad, because it beats getting hurt. It beats getting that feeling of rejection or heartbreak again that we've suffered maybe in the past. So that kind of goes into it as well.
The next one.
Stuck in the gray area.
Yeah, we're always stuck in a gray area. Almost relationships and no strings attached sex are the millennial versions of commitment. We're left constantly wondering where relationships are headed, if anywhere, and plague ourselves with wondering if we're wasting our time. No one is clear about their intentions. Some lie about their intentions entirely just to have their ego stroked for a while. And basically no one has any clue what the fuck is going on.
That's funny. It reminds me, a couple of days ago, I saw this tweet, and this girl was like, I've dating this guy for 8 months. And one day he asked me why I don't have a boyfriend. And she's like, what the fuck? We've been dating for 8 months. And you're asking me why I don't have a boyfriend? Like, she was thinking that he's the boyfriend. Get it? Yeah. He's like, why don't you have a boyfriend? Bitch, we've been talking about dating for 8 months.
What have we been the past couple months?
Exactly. But that is just a small example of the big picture that I think is facing a lot of people, a lot of millennials. There's no titles, nothing's official, because if it is, it's just more headache. I'm just thinking that's what a lot of people think.
Sure.
So it's easier to not even label this, right? Like, let's get away from that. And it brings a lot of confusion, and it puts you into that gray area. You don't really know what the fuck is going on. Is this my person?
Yeah.
Is this my boyfriend? Is this my girlfriend? Can I get mad? Should I get mad? What are we doing here?
I think it goes back to what, one of the things that I said is, it's more comfortable when it's casual, because just like you said, it's less of, let's say, pressure.
Less responsibility.
Less responsibility.
Yeah.
That's a good word. That's the word. So yeah, people that are just more like, you know what, like you build this confusion of like, okay, so what's really happening here? Like, are we something? One's afraid to say something, because then if they say something, then they push them away. But then I'm comfortable how things are. Let me not mess this up. Maybe eventually it'll fall into place. And it always comes down to us being like, be vocal, be vulnerable, and communicate and comprehend.
Yeah.
Like, speak your point, speak your part, defend your part. And if you don't find that in somebody else, there's no need for you to continue, putting yourself in the situation with someone who's not going to reciprocate what you're looking for.
Yeah, I always say, like, be vocal of what you want. Don't be afraid to say, hey, listen, I'm looking for a relationship. I'm looking for commitment. And if you cannot give me that, no pressure. But then,
because think about it.
Be friends.
Oh, but I'm going to scare the guy away. Good.
Yeah.
Maybe you don't want that guy around.
Exactly. If he's scared by you speaking your mind, then maybe this is best in both.
Yeah, like, don't think like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do something, but I don't want to scare the guy away, or I don't want to come off wrong, or I don't want to come on too intense. Bitch, you are intense.
Yeah.
If that's how you feel about it, it's like what I said about when they have sex on the first date.
Yeah.
Oh no, I don't want to come off as a slut. Do you think you're a slut if you have sex on the first date? Well, yeah, okay, so then you think you're a slut.
Right.
It's not because the guy can think whatever. Maybe the guy falls in love with you. He doesn't see you as a slut. He saw you as a soulmate. So now what are you? Are you a slut or are you a soulmate? Now what's going to happen? It's your own belief.
Right.
So it's the same thing when it comes to this. Like, say what you want, be honest, be vocal. And then if you feel like, oh, no, but they're going to think wrong. That's them thinking. Do you think it's wrong? No, I think it's right. All right, so then defend your part.
Matters.
Find someone who can handle your ass. Crazy ass.
Yeah, and a lot of people they stuck like, oh, I hope he changes his mind. I hope one day he's going to look at things differently. No, bro. I mean, like, you have somewhat of an idea, but if people don't want to commit, like, be strong enough, be adult enough to walk away from a situation that doesn't bring you any happiness. Like, if that nobody wants to be in that gray area, that situationship. It's not a fun place to be in.
I concur. What's next?
It says It's no accountability.
Wait, no. I skipped one. Okay.
You got it?
We don't feel accountable for the pain we inflict onto others. When I read this one, I was punching the air. I fucking hated this one.
Really?
Luch, you're gonna love this one. When we've hurt someone's feelings, we don't feel even the slightest bit inclined to apologize or to make good on our wrongs. It's not our problem. It's theirs. A person's emotions, even if caused by something we did or said, is up to them to resolve. We feel entitled to walk around acting like complete losers with the expectation that the way it's received is a reflection of the person we dump our stuff on and nothing to do with the fact that we were the cruel ones. So essentially, hey, you fell for me. You're a fucking problem now. I could have fed you all this bullshit and you fell in love with me and peace out. Oh shit, spill all over the place. Peace out.
Yeah, deuces. I think it kind of also ties a little bit into that other era. Like, there's no title, there's no official anything. So it's like, well, I hurt you. I mean, I had no commitment to you. I didn't make anything official. I could do what I want.
That's responsibilities.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, and I think a lot of people try to get away from accountability by not making things official. Because if I make things official, then it's
I gotta step up.
Exactly. But if we're not dating 7-8 months, we're not dating. You can't get mad if I'm doing these other things with these other girls or with these other guys because we're not a thing. So yeah, I think that kind of ties a little bit into each other. But yeah, people don't want to take that commitment. They don't want to take that accountability. They don't want to man up or woman up.
It's funny, really, because then that ties into because then a lot of people be like, oh man, like my ex is crazy. That bitch is crazy. Like, don't listen to what she said. She's nuts, bro. That's why I had to break up with her. But it's like, why is she crazy?
What happened?
What made her crazy?
Elaborate.
Did you make her crazy? What's her side of the story? And I have a story because back then, this was back in high school, I thought one of my boys was telling me, no, man, fuck that. She's nuts, bro. She doesn't let me do anything. Bro, you seen her. Look at these messages. But then when they broke up, she reached out to me. And she goes, I need you to do something about this guy. I was like, what are you talking about? Like, you're the crazy one. In my head, you're the crazy one, not him. Man, she showed me everything, like messages, conversations, like I was haunted. I was like, dude, I cannot believe that this fuck. What a dumb fuck, right? And it's almost like that's when I started saying. So now I'm very truthful, not truthful, but I'm more like
skeptical.
No, let me put myself in somebody else's shoes.
Yes. Before
I make a decision, because maybe one side of the story is only one side. So and a lot of people they'll write to me like asking me for advice or asking me for some sort of, oh my ex this and that, and I'm like, listen, I can only go by off of what you're telling me. Based on what you're telling me, this is what I would do. But I'm sure whatever they said, they probably have other reasons. But based on what's going on, this is what I would advise you to do. So, there's two sides to every story. So just kind of, don't be a dick and force someone else to go crazy or give people this traumatic experience or bring trauma because you're making them believe something when it really isn't. Right. Straight up. Because at the end of the day, if you were in that person's shoes, you would think of how you would feel about if you were left like, wow, I thought we had something or man, I feel like shit and they made me feel like this. I still want to make this work, but it's like, how am I going to do this if they just continue to do so?
I think also people want to believe that they're the good guy, that they're the victim. They don't want, so when they come to other people and they tell them, they really want to believe that they didn't do anything wrong. And there may be times we've all been in that position where we tell a story to a friend. Maybe there's been times where I've told you something about a situation in my past relationships that I made it seem like the other person was a bad one. Maybe what I was really the bad person. I just wanted you to tell me, hey, you're right.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? Like, I need you to tell me that, so I believe it as well.
I need my own confirmation.
Exactly.
Like, I want to make sure that I'm not going crazy.
Exactly. So, but yeah, man, it comes all down to being self-aware.
Yeah.
Like knowing you hurt somebody, but step up to it and admit it. And like you were saying, put yourself in their shoes.
Yeah.
Why do they react? Why did they react the way they did?
Yeah, it's more of a millennial thing, which is what this whole topic's all about, and this whole episode's about.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like now as we're growing, we're older millennials, I would say. Yeah. We realize the problems and we realize the trauma that we've caused and the experiences to kind of look back and be like, oh yeah, I see why this happened, or I see why whatever.
Yeah, like I think if we would have looked at this list a couple of years ago, we would have been like, no, get the fuck out of here.
Fuck out of here.
Yeah, fuck this shit.
What the fuck do they know?
So wisdom.
All right, so last, I believe, and not least, we're all go in my mouth. We're all jaded as hell. Trust is severely lacking in our dating culture. We're in the thick of a hookup culture that values sex more than love, temporary fulfillment instead of lifelong commitment, and lazy ass communication that often gets lost in translation. We're all so confused by our own past, and with heaps of more stuff constantly being added to the pile, we're all becoming more and more jaded than ever before. We don't even trust that love exists anymore because all we're constantly met with disappointment. Does that make sense? Maybe I'm reading it wrong. Whatever. Dating as a millennial is being in an apocalypse of love, and it's pretty screwed up. That's the end of it.
Yeah, I think maybe that's kind of like a summary of what it's like to being a millennial. Millennial. I'm like, what? Because like we've the stuff that we go through in our past and stuff like that, and we get disappointed and we get rejected and we get heartbroken and cheated on and betrayed and lied to, and it kind of like, I don't think a lot of people ever heal from these type of traumas, and so it's like, well, this happened to me 2 years ago, so I'm gonna give up on love. I'm gonna give up on women. I'm gonna give up on guys. Like, they're all the same. And it's like, it's not necessarily it's not the case.
Yeah.
But we've experienced so much bad that we think everything in the future is gonna be bad as well. So it's like, oh, fuck this. I'm not gonna be interested in this person. They're gonna fuck me over anyways. I'm not gonna be interested in this girl because she's just like every other girl I've dated. And so I've had that conversation with a friend of mine who he went on a date yesterday and he had a great time, but he was very reluctant. He's like, man, she's probably gonna be like everybody else I've been with. Everybody else in the past, they're all the same. All these Miami girls are all the same, And he would keep telling me, and I'm like, bro, not every good I get there's a stereotype, but they're not all the same. You just have to open yourself up. I know it's hard. It's easier said than done, especially from the outside perspective. But I feel like that's a big one because like people are just like, I'm over this. I'm tired. I don't got another talking stage in me.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I can't do this
That's
again. I've had that. Like, it's like, bro, I don't want to get to know you again. I don't want to know your favorite color and where your parents are from and where you were born. I don't give a shit. Like, you can fall into that mindset, and I think when you're in that position, you just need to remove yourself, stop dating, get out, and find yourself and do some soul searching and figure out the things that you want to do instead of being so focused on dating. There's a whole another world out there other than the opposite sex or the same sex or the dating. So it's like, because sometimes we're just so in the midst of it that like, I can't deal with this. Step out.
Yeah, I mean, I think, you need to start with that. You have to make sure that you're good, focus on you, get your shit together, and then get back out there. As reluctant as you are, you have to. But I can see why. So, I'll be honest, I didn't even know what the fuck jaded meant.
Yeah, I had to Google it. I was like, what the fuck
you
is this
Googled
shit?
it too?
Yeah,
I have heard of it before, but
I've heard
like,
of it. Like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah, I've never used it in a sentence.
Yeah.
So it's tired, bored, lacking enthusiasm, typically after having had too much of something. So, as Marvin already kind of explained, I can't say it any better. Kind of get sick and tired. It's like, you know what? Like, I've been heartbroken already so many times. Like, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, I'm just cool with, being myself. I don't want to have to deal with this shit. Let me just do me.
Do you feel like you kind of fall into that category right now?
Right now?
I'm curious.
No, I'm more on my. I'm more just like working on this and like trying to expand. Like, okay. There's a lot of other ideas that I have to continue expanding this into other outlets and how to continue piecing things together to continue growing. And I feel like that just requires too much of my time. And like me having to find someone or commit to someone, although there are advantages to it also. For me, it's just like I don't want to give a half-assed relationship to someone.
Right. Yeah.
So it's not so much like I'm sick and tired. Like, I'm completely open and I'm down. I'm just more
focused
other
outlets
on my shit.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was just curious when I read that. But yeah, I think that kind of sums it up.
So that's the article.
Yeah, if you haven't, we're gonna put a link down in the description if you guys want to check it out.
We'll put the link below, and that way you guys can read into it. Pretty interesting stuff. I think this is pretty spot on. I mean, if you guys have any comments or any feedback, this isn't just us. This is what we read off internet. But I'm sure it's very relatable as well. But again, let us know what you guys think and see if the shoe fits. If not, maybe you have other experiences. I know a lot of people they won't relate, but
let us know.
It's written for a reason. So with that being said, thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in to another episode of
the Coffee Breakup.
Thank
you guys.
Remember, like this video, subscribe, follow,
share
on social media, share, comment, hit that like button, ring that bell, whatever the fuck. If you're listening to us on Spotify, iTunes, and Amazon,
you can watch this episode it on YouTube. If
You can watch us on YouTube.
Merchandise.
We got new merch. We got a
Yeah.
bunch of other stuff lined up for you guys. Website coming soon. Can't wait for you guys to all check it out. That being said,
Thank you guys.
signing off.
Enjoy your Friday.